Okay. Anyways, we're gonna continue. So hopefully I can just move some of this and I can be off my bed.
That you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow.
Really?
Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go.
Oh, you're getting up? Sweetheart, you didn't have to. You didn't have to.
Staring at the bottom of the clouds, hoping one day you'll make a dream last. But dreams come slow and they go so fast. You see it when you close your eyes. Maybe one day you'll understand why everything you touch surely dies.
Okay, I can't. I
But
can't
you
play
only
it like
need the
that.
light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low.
Hi, babies.
Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. Staring at the ceiling in the dark.
Now that I've been working on this for like an hour now,
And it goes so fast.
this is
When you see it
normally at like 30 minutes of doing this. I would have been done and over it, but I purposely pushed myself, and now I'm paying that price because I'm really, really lightheaded.
only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go.
I will. I still have to
Only know
try to
you've been
organize
high when
the
you're feeling
chaos.
low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her
Oh,
when
and I
you
still
let
have the
her
floor to
go.
do.
And you let her go. Oh, oh.
Okay, so I've spent an hour
You let her go.
working on clothes, and my floor's gotten nothing done. He wants to come for you. Yeah. Lil, really?
Cause you only need the light when it's burning low. Only
Oh my
miss the
god,
sun
no.
when it starts to snow.
I underestimated that.
Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. Cause you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to
I
snow.
really wonder if the way I'm feeling is because I haven't gone outside. And because I'm a little depressed because
You've been high when you're feeling low.
I
Only hate
have
the
nothing to
road
look
when
forward
you're
to for
missing
spring
home.
break.
Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go.
Oh, you commented something, but I can't see it from over here.
I mean,
Ow.
it's the first place to look. Spruce
I know.
is a useful wine.
I know.
Lasts up to 5 years.
And
Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly.
no, Ed Sheeran, get out of here. I don't know what to play anymore. Like, it's just been playing a mix of random stuff. Ow. I should have put this on and seen how far I was in this. Because this is literally my playlist for cleaning. That I worked with for 2.5 hours. The one time. Holy crap. I should not feel this lightheaded. But that's...
Something about this girl makes me believe her. Even when the world wants me to leave her, it's out of my control. I can't let her go now.
Yeah. Unclaw the tank top, please. Thank you.
Says she's a liar. She brought this on herself with her desires. Your family will be stained. Gotta walk away now.
Are you good?
Don't make concessions for her transgressions. She's made a mess, a fool of you. I don't see deception in her confession. I just see the truth.
Lily.
Don't make concessions for her transgressions. She's made a mess, a fool of you. I don't see deception in her confession. I just see the truth. I'm completely
Quite literally tug of war.
half of me believes her, the other half needs me. This is no immaculate conception, only just the ultimate deception. Guilty to the bone, you should have a soul.
I know, Lil. There you go. You can have it.
Don't you throw your stones, no, don't you judge her.
Did I break you? Did I break you? Did I break your little heart? There you go. Really.
Red zesty herb fresh stacks go anywhere. Take zest to go and let the zest take you places. Ritz
Okay.
zesty herb fresh stacks. Another way to enjoy Ritz on the go.
I keep looking down. I see my floor. Then I look at my bed. I'm like, hey, you can see it. And then the floor. I can't even walk out of my bedroom. Why am I like this? This I will fold tomorrow, eventually. We both know that that's never going to happen. I will come into this drawer and just pull what I want. And it's not ever going to get organized. Along with that drawer. Anything that has shirts and tank tops in it, never going to get organized again.
Whatever you need to say, can wait some more. Of that I'm sure. Okay.
Hi. Holy crap.
Really? He's back so soon. Where's the rest
Hungry,
of
like
your
I
food?
have it, everything
My
mixed in.
God, what happened to you? We
Yeah.
came across
I'm-
the palace. Inside we heard a voice. It seemed
Let
to
me see
show
this.
no malice.
Because I don't know what your crazy obsession is with these. Why do you like dryer sheets?
Sir, since we left home, we faced a variety of blows from a wide range of places. Gods, monsters, you know the Boston, hostile creatures that we could resist. But this was a hell of a
I'm-
test, 'cause we aren't weak to a power like this. What was she? A woman. What? She had us in just 2 words.
Come inside,
Damn.
Welcome to the rest.
light up your life.
Go ahead and That's why you lie. I got you first, and she's got you now.
Only I stayed outside, but the rest went in.
Taxi, let me bring you home something to eat. Hey. Okay. Bye, Lil. Careful, you can get
By
out.
the time they ate, it was far too late. Go inside the meal. She had cast a spell. They began to squeal and grow snouts and tails. She changed them.
One thing that sounds really good right now is bubble tea. Bubble tea and actual, like, I don't know, I just, anything sweet.
Have to go save them. No, we don't.
Wait, where are we going then? Fly is going. It's not that park. Hi, welcome in.
We have loved before they're none. Let's just cut our losses, you and I, and let's run.
I don't know, because I'm just trying to get it, like, to the point I only, like, have, like, say, dirty clothes that needs to be taken care of. And I'm just trying to, like, get some of this cleared off my bed, so it's, like, when I wake up, I'm not, like, staring. Like, I wake up to a pile of clean clothes at my feet, because it's been there for, since before Shrek got done. Like, clothes were just sitting here, taunting me every morning. And I knew I had to get that done. But because of, like, late rehearsals and all that, I could never get it done. And since I'm on spring break, yeah. But, like, everything that I didn't get through is in here. So, like, nothing anymore, which I'm happy about.
That's why I keep my
I'm
head
gonna
down,
throw
do my job, and win cases for our clients. Because that's what we do.
lots of pain just hitting me now. Some say we're released, pushing daisies deceased. But we all know the worms must be fed. We took one lingering fear. Oh, my soul, is it here? Or is it rotting somewhere with my head? Oh, my soul. Oh, my soul. No. The sign is from a few years ago. All good. Where's my makeup? Okay. So we're in the clothes. And from the ground beneath my feet,
hear the anguish of the street, and I can all forgotten tune, a song that no one knows. Forgot how it goes. Just joy and we forever eternally. Jacob. And I'm asking why, Lord, if this is how I die, Lord. Why be left with no family and no friends? I've got no celebration, just this consolation. Time eats all these children in the end. Oh, yes. Come on. Come on. Oh, no. This is a horrible idea. Yep. That's great. Oh, catch. I love that. I love that for me. That's beautiful. Now I got many pieces on the floor. Oh.
Hotels.com is where you go to choose from hundreds of thousands
No one
of
cares
hotels
about
and your
hotels.
on every stay. It's exactly what it sounds like.
Why
They're
are
like
you
chicken
still...
fingers, which are not what they sound like.
I wasn't.
When you hear Hotels.com, you think hotel rewards you can use like cash. No
Okay.
credit cards.
Now
Because
can I remember
Hotels.com is exactly what it sounds
how
like.
to do the
Hotels.com.
light?
It's all in the name.
Okay.
On Medicare?
Oh my
Living with diabetes? Applying and wearing the Freestyle Libre 3. Mr. President, you asked to see me.
I don't even know
I
how to
know
do
you're
that.
busy. What do you need, sir? So, I want to give you a word of warning. Sir, I don't know what you've heard, but whatever it is, Jefferson started it. Thomas Jefferson resigned this morning. You're kidding. I need a favor. Whatever you say, sir, Jefferson will pay for this behavior. God bless the press. I'll write under a pseudonym. You'll see what I can do to him. I need you to draft an address. Yes, he resigned. You can finally speak your mind. No. He's stepping down so he can run for president. Good luck to me and you, sir. I'm stepping down. I'm not running for president. So, one last time. Relax, have a drink with me. One last time.
Ow. Okay, I think that's
Take
all.
a break tonight and then
I don't know.
keep
Yes,
me how
we'll
to
find
say
out.
goodbye. To say goodbye. You and I. No, sir. I want to talk about neutrality, sir. With Britain and France on the verge of war, is this the best time on against partisan fighting? Start writing. I want to talk about what I have learned, the hard-won wisdom I have earned. As far as the people are concerned, you have to serve. You could continue to serve. One last time, the people will hear from me. One last time, and if we get this right, we're gonna
That's a good way to look at it. Sorry, I'm tired.
Mr. President, people say you're weak, oh, they will see we're strong. Your position is so unique, so I'll use it to move them along. Why do you have to say goodbye?
I am gonna go get food real quick. I'm probably gonna get Oreos just to try to kind of help.
Scripture says, everyone shall sit under their own vine in victory. No one shall make them afraid. They'll be safe in the nation we've made. I want to sit under my own vine in victory. A moment alone in the shade. Home in this nation we've made. One last time. One last time. Though in reviewing the incidents of my administration, I am unconscious of intentional error, I am nevertheless too sensible of my defects not to think it probable that I may have committed many errors. I shall also carry with me the hope that my country will view them with indulgence, and that after 45 years of my life dedicated to its service with outright zeal, my faults of incompetent ability will be assigned to oblivion.
I want to do makeup, but at the same time I don't.
To go and let the zest take place.
How do I not have water in here? Okay. I'll be going back out there apparently. So I'll grab a few, take this out, and then get water. To work on something that I've been trying to work on all day in between breaks. I normally just eat Oreos by themselves. I'm very picky on how certain things are when I eat them. Oreos being no milk. Um, yeah. Oh, Squishmallows over there. Okay. Only thing is, when I'm working on trying to do the other thing that I've been trying to do all day, which I did get some of it done, and I'm just doing it for fun to try to work on it. I'm trying to like do it as if I was the one teaching littles, like about what Palm Sunday is after the resurrection. So that's okay. Which I know I have another book somewhere. I need something else to like support my head at the moment because it's I'm like still a little lightheaded, so like I'm just trying to figure out how I can. Okay. But I can't listen to music on you anymore. And if you're wondering what I'm using to make the like I don't know if you would call it like a quote unquote lesson or something. But whatever you want to call it, I've been making them on Canva. And like I only have 4 slides. But I think that's better than nothing. And if yeah. Thank you. And we can try to plan something this week before I go back to school. Yeah, so this is, and then I went through each day and like watched what like happened that day. So like Palm Sunday, he rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. Monday, he freed the sacrificed animals and cleansed the temple. And then Tuesday, he taught at the temple. And then Judas betrayed him for 30 pieces of silver. And did not know Thursday actually did have a name. Did not know that. So I did learn that when I was going through the Last Supper with the disciples, and then he also washed their feet during the Last Supper. Good Friday was the crucifixion on the cross for the sins of the world. Holy Saturday, his body rested on the tomb, and then Resurrection Sunday, he rose. His life, death, resurrection paid for our sins, and gave us eternal life. And then this was the crowds that went ahead of him, and those that followed shouted, Hosanna to the Son of David. Blesses who comes in the name of the Lord. Matthew chapter 21, verse. And then that is as far as I've made it. But, yeah. And then I made this one 5 months ago. And this one was just like my trial run. It's on Noah's Ark. I like how this one's laid out. But since I made this one 5 months ago, I don't remember how I did like these cute little like animation figures. I don't remember. Because I remember I was like playing around. Oh yeah, fun facts about Noah's Ark. Noah was a healthy 600-year-old. 600 of age when the flood was sent. And then second one was Noah died at 950 years of age, roughly. Don't quote me on that. And then Bible verses, and then like a kind of like a simple breakdown. Building the ark in the time, what was needed, why Noah, why he was the one chosen. And then, see, some of these slides would kind of be harder for little kids to understand. I do understand that. And for this one, I was like, okay, well, because if I'm doing it to like little kids, like trying to teach them with this slide, some of these slides are going to be making it really hard to understand. So like parts of these, like the adjectives, mostly the adjective ones of the slides would be like, yeah, no, cut those. But some of the others are kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, so that is what I've been trying to work on in my free time. And I've pulled out my with kid pictures and simple or funny phrases. Yeah. I always try to picture like, cause like I typically help out with little ones. Especially at my church. I prefer to help the little ones compared to teenagers. Yeah, no. Teenagers, no. Not right now. Maybe when I get into the field of what I want to do, then maybe. I feel like, cause you know how like little kids, they're so much easier to understand. And like you have your days that they're just like, why are you the way you are? And then other days like, oh, they were great, they're beautiful children, they're wonderful, they're angels. Like today was a great day compared to the other days. Today could have gone way better. Or like you always have like an up and down with littles, especially when you're trying to teach them, especially about religion and like the Lord. When I was younger, I found it really hard to not necessarily focused, but it was just like the way they were explaining it was just like explain it in a simpler way, but then they would also have these. I still watch them now because I find these videos so funny, but they're so educational. Yeah, and I don't know, like when I was younger I would just find it so hard to like focus, but given they also had like building blocks out before the lesson started, and then they also had VeggieTales going before the lesson started too. Not sure on why VeggieTales. I never paid attention to the VeggieTales. So like people ask me now, like, did you watch VeggieTales growing up? If you count maybe like 5 seconds, 15 seconds being generous on every Sunday growing up, other than that, I would not willing and sit down and watch it. But even now, I'm just like, why were they like, I don't know. It just confused me on why. Like, how is VeggieTales? How is it related? Was it lessons? Hold on. Really? I see, and I'm pretty sure that was just a reminder on my iPad for like 5 minutes left, and then it's gonna yell at me to take a break. So if this ends in the next few minutes, that's why, but I will probably start another live just so I can kind of just keep focused. But no, VeggieTales, yeah. See, even me, I'm just like, I don't know how VeggieTales was remotely relevant. VeggieTales. Oh. So that would. Oh, so they had specials that they would cover Bible stories. Alright, so Noah's Ark. VeggieTales, Bible stories, the Old Testament on VeggieTales. 2 hours long. And that is just the Old Testament. Holy. That is insane. We're gonna just save that to watch later. Even though most likely not gonna. I may try to watch it, see if I really missed out on anything. But the stories, like the videos that we'd watch, which made it so easy for me to understand, were these little, like, very, like, we all couldn't help but chuckle because they were so, like they're so cute, little animated short videos, like roughly like 2 to 3 minutes long. Let's see if I can find a short one. And then you had like ones that were a bit longer. Trying to see if I can find a relevant one right now. Joseph's coat. That's a bit on the longer side. Hello? 7 minutes. Oh, the Christmas story. There's the Easter. Okay. Like, okay, because this is like the this is the Last Supper one. And it's on the shorter side.
Stories of the Bible. Jesus washes his disciples'
I
feet.
don't.
This is Jesus, who is the Son of God and the Savior of the world. While Jesus was on earth, he taught everyone about God's love. He healed many people from their sickness, performed many miracles like calming storms, and even raised people from the dead. At this time, the Jewish people were celebrating a festival called Passover that had been celebrated since the time of Moses, when God brought his people out of Egypt. So Jesus and his disciples went to Jerusalem to celebrate. Jesus had 12 men who followed him through his ministry. They were called his disciples. For one final meal together. Jesus got up from the table, took off his robe, and began to wash his disciples' feet. Jesus loved his disciples, and he knew the time was coming for him to leave them and return to heaven. When Jesus came to Peter, he said, "Are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus said, "You don't understand what I'm doing, but someday you will." Peter said, "You will never wash my feet." But Jesus then told him that unless he washed his feet, he would not belong to him. Oh, well then, okay. Peter said, "Then wash my hands and head as well, not just my feet." But Jesus told him that was not necessary. He just needed to wash his feet for Peter to become clean. So Jesus finished washing their feet.
Yeah,
And said
so
that the disciples
that is what we'd watch to yeah, and like we would based off of like what that lesson was like that Sunday, there was a good chance we'd be watching one of these videos because yeah, so there is just an entire playlist on the channel that has these their stories of the Bible. There is 234 videos, and with them being roughly, most of them are anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes. There's some like the Christmas story, or I think even Noah's Ark. Like there's certain stories that are a bit longer because there's more that they have to somewhat cover. So I think like Moses, like you can go through and you can see like they covered I think roughly every single story, but just animated. And it's beautiful. Because even now, I will still watch them. I'm just like, I remember sitting there and like at the beginning, heyo, we'd all kind of just chuckle. Like, and like, I know, like the Easter one, and I think it was what was it? Easter was one of my favorites because it covered everything. So like I'm pretty sure it covered like every day of Holy Week too. So it's a way longer video. As I'm looking at it, it's 17 minutes long. So like Easter, probably not the fact that it was a longer video, but also probably the fact that we could actually understand what was happening. And then see, there's a lot of good ones, but I don't know, probably Easter would be my top one. And that's, what are these ones? Okay. I'm scrolling and I just keep seeing more that don't have, were these the little animated bits and pieces? Okay. So what are your thoughts on Lazarus, or even the last? So Lazarus, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going blank, but I'm pretty sure he rose a few days, 4 days after he had died, so he had been staying in the tomb. I can't say I liked the fact that he waited a few days, but it's understanding on why. And then Last Supper, personally, I like the Last Supper. I think it was very fitting. Since he did know, like, he wouldn't be there much longer, as the video stated. And he also figured out who was gonna betray him, or he had a good idea. Which, like, Last Supper is very, like, it's a very famous thing in the Bible. And I kind of became a little bit of a nerd over last summer because I got to see the painting of the Last Supper in the Louvre, and it was the coolest thing to see, because me being Christian and knowing what the Last Supper is, I kind of really geeked out over it. But that's besides the point. Like, the Last Supper is such a well-known thing too. Like, I don't know how else you would describe it. Like, it's probably the third most well-known thing in the Bible. Like, it is one of the top things that's well-known. Whether at some point you have heard of the Last Supper, you've heard of the resurrection, you have heard of the Christmas story, and maybe even Noah's Ark. Like, some of the well-known stories in the Bible, you are bound to hear about at some point in your life. Like, you will know about them. And then once you actually start, like, if you start drifting towards a relationship with the Lord, you kind of learn a bit more about it than what you already knew, which is such a beautiful thing, because even before I fully joined and, like, got saved, I had heard Noah's Ark, Christmas story before I even went to church. my family was not that religious. But I still knew about these well-known stories. So then going into the church, it kind of really helped because I was already kind of familiar with it. But then I also got to learn more about it. So, okay, wait. Circling back to Lazarus. Sorry. So, like, not saying, like, he himself was understanding, and I'm going blank on, sorry, I'm, like, because I started talking about the Last Supper. Last Supper I just love so much. Not that he himself was understanding, but the fact that, hold on. Sorry, I'm, like, needing a reference because that's, I don't know why I'm blanking on this, because I know it. How, 102? Sorry, still. Okay. He returned because of his family were saddened with his loss. Okay, I'm, like, trying to figure out how to word it on top of, like, does that make sense? Because, like, his story's not really talked about, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm, like, blinking on it, too. Which is not, amazing on my part. Okay. Hey, Bible app. Huh. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I had to, like, I'm using my Bible app on my iPad. Okay. Let's refresh my memory real quick. Okay, so, yep. Sisters, Mary and Martha. Okay. The song 4 Days Late is starting to come back to me. Okay. Sorry, I'm, like, quickly reading this through so I can give you a clear answer. Lord, if he sleeps, then he will get better. Jesus had spoken of his death. Thought he meant a natural sleep, so he told them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and for your sake I'm glad I was not there, so that you may believe, but don't, and let us go to him. Okay, and then they go to him on the 4th day, less than 2 miles from Jerusalem. Y'all, it's going on 1 a.m. here. Comfort in them for their loss. Your brother will rise again, and he rises because Jesus had spoken of his death, told him plainly, like, he's not here, he's dead. Then they go to his tomb. On Jesus' arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. And many Jews and they're lost with their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him. But Mary stayed at home. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Your brother will rise again. I'm trying to piece together all the pieces right here. I am the resurrection and the life, that the one who believes in me will live, and when they die, oh, I did not know that. That's really interesting. I've never really looked into anything other than Christian, which is I should. I learned about very little in middle school because we did a religion project that was very limited, and it was a very interesting time because of what could be said and what couldn't be said. So people were asking questions. I think one of the questions was, why is Good Friday celebrated? And they had asked our teacher, and the teacher's like, I can't answer that. And I wrote a note on a sticky note saying, I'll tell you after the lesson. Cross-reference the time. Huh. See, I wish I knew more about like other beliefs / religions, because one of my friends have asked me what's the difference between Catholic and Christian, and I'm like, I don't know. And I said flat out, like, I know I have had family that was Catholic who still are, but I don't know the difference between Catholic and Christianity. And she kind of looked at me. I'm like, I don't know. Don't ask me. Not a question for me. But yeah, no, I would probably be willing to learn a bit more about like the other beliefs and all of that, because of the fact that I want to go into the field of being someone who works with the kids in the church and teaches them. Yeah, I may have to, because like I said, I'd be so interested in learning like the similarities and the differences between the different religions, and like also like, because I don't know if it's different in different religions. I know some religions don't have they all have, some have the same and some have different ones, so like different beliefs, and some are similar, but I think in some of them, I think I'd be curious to know if some of the way the stories are if they're similar or not. Which is just out of curiosity, because I never really looked into that. And yeah. Sorry, I'm still reading through this chapter. It's a very okay, here it is. The main headline: Jesus rises Lazarus from the dead. Take away the stone, he said. But Lord, said Martha, the sister of the dead man, by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been in there for 4 days. Then Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? I can't talk. Caesar's Messiah is an interesting book and will explain a lot of questions. Maybe I'll have to look into that. Cause, yeah, I'm not even joking. Like, I'd love to learn more. Okay. Take off the grape's clothes and look out. Okay, and then that goes into okay. Thank you, iPad. Okay. Back to the Lazarus topic. I just finished reading the chapter. So I know it was just like you have not had a downloaded version of this, so you cannot read it offline. So my phone still has Wi-Fi. It was just my iPad that said no Wi-Fi for a second. It's beautiful. I also couldn't remember what chapter Lazarus was in. So that's another reason why I did online. Okay, anyways. Technology. So, I think the reason why Jesus waited to raise him from the dead, that that if you believe, you will see glory, and like glory of God. So like I think he said something similar, that hold on, how did he word that? Okay, yeah. I'm the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die, and whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Hold on. What? One who believes in me will live even though they die, and whoever lives by believing in me will never die. What did he mean by that? Hold up. So maybe this should be the next presentation I try to do. So memory and thought. Okay. So, because that part just kind of threw me off. The wording too. Hold on, can I put it in a New Living Translation? Preferably. Anyone who believes in me even after dying everyone who lives in me and believes in me will never ever die. Do you believe this, Martha? Okay, that's a new... So... in that, he's saying that in... Hold on, let me go back to this part. Okay. Or this part, or like translation. I have 2 different translations in this Bible app. Yeah. 1:09 a.m. brain. Trying to discuss the Bible. It's not a great look on me right now. Okay. So in John chapter 11, verse 25, in the NIV, New International Version. There we go. This is what it says. Jesus said to her, I am resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? See, if it wasn't worded so oddly, I know that's just the version that I'm reading right now, because I switched it over to my New Living Translation, and it made a bit more sense. So memories. I'm trying to keep that in mind. So I just don't know how to word it either. Like, I don't know how you would word that it makes sense. That as long as you keep his memory with you and know that he's with you always, and as long as you fully believe in him and trust in him, that you'll still live, even though you'll die. And whoever believes in him will never die. And then I believe he waited to prove the point to... Hold on. Because if I word it like that, it sounds off to me. That he was trying to prove a point to the sisters. That as long as he believed in him, then he would still live. And that he would never die. Right? Tell me if that makes sense. I'm like, does that make sense? It sounds like it makes sense, but I don't know. I feel like that makes sense. Just like when someone close passes away, the memory of them lives on in thoughts and pictures. Okay, thank you. I'm like over here like spitting out ideas. I'm like, wait, does that make sense? I think it does. Y'all are better at wearing this than I thank you. Because I'm over here struggling. Believe in him and live forever. with him after you're dead. He's talking about your soul. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 1 a.m. brain. But also I have really hard times wording things. So that's why I'm also like trying to figure out how to word things right now, but also I have a hard time wording things when I'm making the presentations, that to make sure they sound right and that they'll maybe make sense to littles. Yeah. Okay. That's... Nope. I need all that the same color. Thank you. Okay. Now that I have taken, I don't even know how long, trying to figure out the wording on top of a refresher, because no one talks about the death of Lazarus that often, so I kind of needed a refresh. And that's on me. But what was... So this was... Hold on. Jesus predicts his death? Why are you giving up on me, iPad? Okay. That's fine. You gotta love technology. It's fine. If it doesn't want to open. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna power this off. And then we're gonna... Oh, I still have Oreos. I feel like I'm not in the right part of the book. Yeah, no. I just had to power off my iPad to hope that it would stop acting up. Where is this? Okay, here's... I forgot I highlighted this in middle school. Forgot about that. The return prepares the way. Why was this highlighted? What was... Baptism. Begins to preach. Hey, I found stuff on the Last Supper. Okay. So we're gonna power my iPad back on. It's also been I've been using it all of yesterday. So I think it just kind of got, it's just over it. yeah, it just needed a break. Okay. So Last Supper. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah. It's been a lot of, like, on and off. I've been playing games on my iPad almost all day whenever I wasn't or, like, doing something. I was working on Canva today, or technically yesterday. I was doing that while I was watching a movie. And then the way I had my screen, which I'm going to put this right here for right now. And then I'm going to try to figure out how to set this up so y'all can see the way I had it. Okay, so I would have Canva open. Okay, I'm going to just... Come on. Do not play games with me right now. The Bible on this side, and then Canva on this side. So then I could also say, hold on, kind of move that over. So like, I had this going on the entire time I was working on this presentation. This one, with each day, I was getting it off my phone. And then obviously I have to keep going. But yeah, this was the layup. And then if I wanted out of doing that, hold on. There we go. And then I could just do that. So that was the very nice layup and layout on working on the first few slides of the presentation. But I now want to figure out yeah. Now I just gotta figure out what to cover on 4 slides. So the first Bible verse in the presentation is talking about what the crowd's doing when he's riding in on the donkey. So I think because this is a template on Canva too, I'd like to add. So like, but I went in and like added the little flowers. Like it was just plain Jane colors with already like words on it. So I've just been going and changing and adding what I'm playing on and what it's about. So in this, yeah, in this template, they put another Bible verse. So I'm thinking, okay, the first Bible verse that I put was from when he was getting praise and he's riding in on the donkey on Palm Sunday. Would that be fitting to put a Last Supper one, or from Easter / Resurrection? Reason being, although, did he really say much after Resurrection? Because I feel like he didn't say much after he came back. Okay. So it would... Because the last... So if I were to do another Bible verse, which I probably will, it would probably be from the last... and I think I know what one. It does. It really does. Because I thought he said something after. But I know as he was up on the cross, people were just telling him to save himself if he was truly the Son of God. But I don't know, I just read a little bit and there was nothing about him talking after. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that says that he really talked much after. Because then it goes into people on the road. Yeah. So I think for the second Bible verse on the presentation, it's gonna be about the bread and the wine during the Last Supper, how the broke it and gave it to them, saying, I'd probably put in just like this short little bit, this is my body given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. In the same way, after the supper, he took the cup, saying, this cup is yeah. Because I don't know if this is the right wording to what I'll put. I have a feeling it is. But this one's also, oh, it is the right version. I have so many. Cause, let me see. I have my Adventure Bible. This one, that came from one of my family members. Wasn't that close to, but she gave it to my great grandma, which then my great grandma gave it to me, like 2019-ish. So I've had this since then. Then I have my Rainbow Bible, which the one I'm not able to pull out because it's in a tote box. But this was my first official Bible. It is rainbow, and so it breaks stuff down into what it is. with Grandma's Bible that has a little bear cover over it. And then she also has like little notes written in. And then my this was one that I got now 2 years back, and highlighters are in this too, and this one it comes out of the case, and then the case you can strap it in so it can't move. So say you were traveling and just did not want it to move around a ton, you can just set it in and you can just Velcro it in so it can't move. I typically try to Velcro it in, but sometimes I do forget to, so that's always fun. And then I have, technically, I got it's just the classic red one, like what hotels have. Technically that is my first one. I still have it. It's over on my bookshelf. I got it from, there's a shelter in the town that my grandparents lived, of veterans there, and one of them had circled a Bible verse in it and they tore a bit of it's like the corner of just a random card, like a not playable card in the deck. It may have just been like the cover card, and tore a little bit of that off, and yeah, I was going blank on it, and tore a little corner off of that, and that was the bookmark. And they bookmarked that page and they circled that verse. And so the normal Bible, like the everyday, like the one you will see in a hotel room, was technically my first. And then the Adventure Bible. I know there's a kids version Bible somewhere. My Rainbow Bible, my Grandma's Bible, and then my new one. But I also know I had, because those are just counting like the actual legitimately. Because if we're counting like they go over the stories, but do they cover every detail? No. There's a ton. But I don't think we're counting those. So, very helpful in today's times. Yes. Sorry, I just saw that. No, I typically try to highlight in my definitely no worries. But if I can, I try to highlight in, say, my first ever, because it makes it easier knowing that I'll never get rid of this. I'm pretty sure the card is still marked. Hold on. There's the corner. Were there multiple pieces? Hold on. It was in Matthew. There it is. Okay. So you, yeah, there's 2 of them. Which I think that may have honestly been me trying to make up more bookmarks later on. The one that they circled, I don't remember who circled this, by name. But I know it was one of the vets. It is in Matthew, chapter 7, verse 7. Ask and it shall be given you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. I need the New Living Translation of that. I don't know why I'm struggling with that so bad. Okay. Keep on asking and you will receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking and you will find. Keep on knocking and that door will be opened to you. Yeah. I figured that out once I read the New Living Translation version, because I remember they told me that it essentially meant never to give up. And at some point I kind of just, because I don't typically open up to this page. Like they highlighted it too. And then they also circled it. Which, yeah. And then there's other parts of this one that are highlighted and just feel like it's chaos. But when I go in and highlight stuff in this, like especially this one, I try to do it in different colors. So like Psalms 22, Psalms 23, the entire up to verse 6, which, just like a thunderstorm, hard times, and the moment will pass. I just don't get that. That's a good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's... And obviously I don't have my grandma's, but grandma's is also in this pile, and then that. And obviously there's other books in between, but those are just the main ones, which is insane to me that I still have them. And the one I got from that shelter, the hotel thing, it was essentially just a homeless shelter. Which yeah, it was I'm what's that? Hold on. Sorry, that sounds I feel like I should know. But yeah. Sorry. I didn't know there was like official name for. Yeah. That's my bad. Oh. See, I never knew that there was an actual name for it. So in a way, I only knew it because because growing up, stayed in hotels quite a bit, I would always see a Bible in there. And it was mostly like the red and gold. There'd be occasional the blue. But I never knew that there was an actual name for it. So I always knew it as the hotel Bible. I don't know, that's just me. And then once I started, yeah. Once I started, like, actually getting more into, wanting to read it when we would go to hotels, I'd pick up the Bible and I'd be laying in my bed and I'd read it. Is that one King James version? I think they might be. So that's probably also why the translation threw me off in that one, because of it being in King James. Why are they in King James version? Like, wait, hold on. Why is... I'm curious. Why is it only in King? Okay. Yeah, because I don't think I've ever seen one words are hard right now. Ow. Because I don't know why, but so when I read that Bible verse, I was just like, wait, why does that not make sense? And then after I pulled up the New Living Translation of it, it made more sense. And no. So why are... and I don't know if you'll know this, but why are they in King James version? Like the I'm going blank on how to say the name, but the ones that are in the hotels, are they only in King James version? If so, why? Or is that just because of the time period? And is it only me who feels King James Version is really hard to understand. um, that last one might be really only me. But I'm curious because, because I know I have a family member, who will read the King James Version and she understands it. And then you got me, my grandpa, my grandma, and my mom, and my dad. We all read the New International Version. Yes, untouched and no new translation for all forms of... Okay. Gotcha. Catholic, Baptist, Methodist, etc. Okay. Gotcha. I was just curious because I know that, yeah, because how can I word this? I'm trying to figure out how to word this. The struggle of trying to word things. Also, what is... Because I know I probably should have did this when I first got the bracelet. But I never did, which is on me. So it's Psalms 91. Psalms 91, verse 4. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. Yeah, it's difficult at 1:47 a.m. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I'm still going. Which is insane. Oh, I haven't updated this since a while ago. Edit profile. Hold on. I don't remember the last time I updated this, but about 10 years and 7 years since I was saved. And then for the profile picture, I would typically use one that is actually decent, but I will use one from last year's trip because I struggle. When did I change that? Okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna... Nope. Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I should probably try to, probably actually try to get some sleep. But also, yeah. I don't know, I'll probably still be up, honestly. Just because I just, it's a really interesting night for me, which is interesting, to say the least. But also, like, I'm partially freezing right now, which is not helping my case at all. And like I've been covered up and everything this entire time that I've been on here. Except for when I was obviously trying to clean. That was the only time that I was not, but oh, hello. Hi, welcome in. Jeez. See, I don't know what the weather is here, but my father had the AC on. So my mother had gotten up like maybe 30 minutes before I even started my first live. And it was just like, I'm gonna turn on the heat. I'm like, wasn't already on? No. Father had AC on. I'm like, oh, that's why it's so cold. And like I had my fan going and I turned it off because I was already like cold, but I also had a headache. So it's just like, and I was overheating too. So I was just like, okay, so I'm gonna turn on the fan and see if that helps. And I kid you not, I sat here laying like this for like half an hour because there was just like, I was cold, I was tired, I had a headache that would not go away. It was like everything mixed into one. And then to work half clothes and like getting it sorted and like in different spots, that is actually like, I can physically move my legs at the bottom half of my bed now instead of having a pile of clothes tumble down. It's so, I don't even know. It's nice. But yeah, it's interesting because I'm not usually one that can actually work like no other like that. But I kept going. I kept pushing myself, even though that wasn't the best thing. Caffeine usually helps. The headaches, jalapeno peppers help with being cold. I'm well aware of jalapeno peppers. Caffeine for headaches? Me reading the can that's just casually in my room. Hello. Supposedly caffeine free, but $60 milligrams or less. Does it really? I did not. See, I didn't know that caffeine can help with headaches. If I normally have a headache, I will be doing something that my grandma taught me, which it kind of helps distract you from the pain and like the headache itself, and you just apply a pressure to the middle of your palm on both sides, like right in the center, equal like the same amount of pressure, and it kind of like it almost does like distract your brain from your headache, which I've done it at school, and everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, it's something that my grandma taught me, and it kind of quote unquote like distracts it from yeah, Tylenol will be the other thing. Advil? I feel like I did know Advil. I just don't ever typically take Advil. Oh, I completely forget about that one, honestly. And I don't know why. Like, I know stuff about pressure points, but like I don't never learned a ton about them. I'm sure I did, but I also learned how to quote unquote professionally chop backs at a very young age, and then also massaging shoulders. I'm still pretty decent at chopping people's backs. My hands are just still in that state of mind. And then the massage could be better. So during my musical I was just in, because there were a bunch of us who just were in pain backstage because like either our dances or we were just dead tired because we were no sleep show week, and like someone would be laying on their stomach I'm like, do I have permission to chop your back? They're like, what? I'm like, can I chop your back? What that means. So I do it very lightly, and they'd be like, oh, okay. And so I'd keep going, and they're like, that actually feels really good. So I'd be doing it to different people, and then I know my friend did it to me the one day, because I was dead. Wide awake, wide awake. Wide open, wide awake, yeah. I don't know, like, just knowing the fact that I learned how to chop the back and do a shoulder massage so young. Sadly, I forgot how to really do the massage, but I remember how to chop it back, which is insane, because I've never really had much use for it with being an only child and not having anyone to bother, like, nothing to do. So really becoming like a very independent person too, which probably did not really help. The fact that I don't remember I don't remember like how to do a massage on the shoulders because I had no one to really like give a massage to, because after I had learned both of them, I was mainly taught so then I could help Grandpa because he had so many health issues as I was growing up when I was younger. Like, he had heart issues, he had stuff that was going on with his feet for a long time. He had to go through 2 heart surgeries that I know of, technically 3. One of them happened before I was born. But he had just so many different health issues. So my grandma taught me how to massage his shoulders and chop his back. So whenever he was laying down, I could just chop his back when I was younger. And yeah. But after a few years after I learned, just never really did it. Knuckles and palms to the shoulders, knees to the lower back and hips. Yeah. See, if I could, I'd 100% just relearn how to do the massage, because that would just be so nice to have that. But hold on. Wait. Which one of my Bibles was I looking in when I saw stuff about Last Supper highlighted? Which one? It wasn't my most recent. It wasn't this one, because that's King James. version. Was it the Adventure Bible? I think it might have been. Oh, hello, mascara. And then go to about here. Where am I looking? Okay. Luke chapter 2, chapter 22. Thank you, Vic. St. James. And then okay. Come on. And then we're gonna put this at the bottom. Because then it can't take up that much room. Because it's also at the bottom of that. That makes it look awkward to me, at least. Just move this down. And then lock that in place. Then it can't move. If it was this one or my rainbow. But then I was just like, I'm pretty sure it was the one I highlighted in middle school. So it would have been this one. Because this one literally had nothing highlighted until my middle school years. On when we did stuff with religions. The very small amount that we could do. Which I love the little bookmarks that I used. This was math work. Being a bookmark. Yeah, this is a full-on worksheet that I had. But I'm pretty sure I finished it. So then I was just like, hey, can I, like, turn this into a bookmark? Sure, go ahead. So I think that's probably why. Oh my goodness. What happens when you don't have bookmarks? You just use paper. Yeah. I wish I could find more of these little pink and blue bookmarks. But I don't know where they're from. And that's the only issue. Cause like they're so cute. And only sad part is I don't know where they're from. But okay. So I'm gonna close that. Yeah, I don't know. Cause the family member who had it, they were already placed when I'd gotten the book. So yeah, I've never been sure on where they were from. But Office Depot and Walmart would probably be places to check because I feel like that would be something they would have. You do some daily training in hazmat. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll have to look because I feel like they'd be so much easier to use for bookmarks than pieces of paper and cards. Tape and paper. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm gonna try to finish this page of coloring. And for the little duck's like little scarf, we're just gonna do it like a grayish color. And I'll still talk about the Bible. I just need a topic because that's the only way that I can keep talking is if I have a topic and that I can really stay on topic too, because staying on topic is a big thing for me. I'm always trying to jump from one topic to another. So if you listen to half of my lives on my channel, I will jump from one topic to another, to back to that topic, back to the next, and then move on. And then never circle back. And I'm well aware of that, and it sucks. It's horrible. Trying to figure out if these are the same color. I don't think they are. Paper, why do you hate me? Okay. And then do that. I don't know if this is gonna turn out well. I have very low hope that this one turns out decent. Because like there's no theme to this page. All good. You go enjoy some food. And hopefully I will see you in a future live, and I will actually be decently awake. And I won't be trying to figure out how to word things at now 2 a.m. And yeah, I appreciate you staying on and listening to me ramble. And yeah, appreciate it. Have a great day. Cheers. And this one. Oh, like a green color. Don't know where this is gonna go. Wait, it could be one of these up here. It's nearby each other, but are the same color. Okay. So I think this is just gonna be how I do this, because it just makes it easier. And stop. Why? Hold on. Gray. Okay. That's... I think I can work with gray. Go right there. Curtain rod. Or the curtain holder. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw. Oh, I had one. Dark purple. Right there. I'll do that, and then a random little purple flower right there. Okay. Oh, yellow. So there's not much yellow on this page, which A-okay with. Okay. Wait, there is this song that keeps wanting to replay in my head, but I don't remember. It's from a TV show that I used to watch. I feel like if you watched PBS Kids, and if you watched Odd Squad, okay, wait.
You can do this. I can dance through it.
Up, down, left, right. I'm gonna move my feet tonight. I'm gonna show my funky side like nobody's watching. In, out, jump, twist, pumping a beat I can't resist. So I'm gonna get ridiculous like nobody's watching. Dance like nobody's watching. Dance like nobody's
See, why do I... Yeah.
There's a switch to shut off the security cameras.
How do we get through them?
Dance through them.
I know I got you. Left, right, I'm gonna move my feet tonight. I'm gonna show my funky side like nobody's watching.
Oh. This must have been one that they came back for. Dance like nobody's watching. Dance like nobody's watching. Dance like nobody's watching.
Up, down, left, right, in, out, jump, twist. Up, down, left, right, in, out, jump, twist. Up, down, left, right, in, out, jump, twist. I'm gonna get ridiculous.
Wait.
Here we go.
Girl, whenever I'm feeling empty, I know I can just think of you. That's a real plus.
Where to begin with all that you inspire? I breathe, you aim. Each time I'm counting higher. Take me plus you, that equals hearts on fire. What can I say? What more can I say? Suddenly, lost turns to gain. Just your smile is more than my heart can contain.
My sails like the wind on the sea. 'Cause you give my breath to me now.
You know how I always said soundtrack was
Yeah?
I feel the exact same way.
That checks out.
Sound check.
There are times when being apart, even across the vast reaches of the cosmos, is the only way to truly come together. Engage.
We like to be blown away by our own voices, except when we're actually blown away.
I win.
So maybe the fans were not the best of choices. That's how we got scattered throughout time and space.
I will.
But there is a force binding every musician.
Like empires, prices rise and fall.
Girl, there There are times when having nothing is everything in the world.
I remember this one.
How could I know what it would all add up to? You said hello, and now it's all I can do to catch my breath. But nothing happens, cause you take it away. You take it away. Suddenly, out of the blue, you stole my heart before I could give it to you. So much to feel, but nothing to say. Cause you take my breath away now. Take away one, take away one, take away one, take away one breath from me. And you take away four. Whoa, oh, one and one and one and one, baby. I'll be keeping score. There's nothing left for me. Cause you take away four. This love I feel for her could not be greater. I know it's real, cause I used a calculator. I can't believe that something really made her take it away. You take it away. Suddenly, how could I know? You stole my heart before it was ready to go. So much to feel, but nothing to say. Cause you take my breath away now. Take away one, take away one, take away one, take away one breath from me. And you take away four. Whoa, oh, one and one and one and one, baby. I'll be keeping score. There's nothing left. With you and me in conversation. Words away my respiration. Pretty soon I'm gonna need resuscitation.
Some deer. One deer can have a home range of more than 500 acres of woods, fields, and even human neighborhoods. Which is exactly why Buckaroo showed up a second time.
So why did you...
The story of Easter. This is Jesus,
Hey-o!
who is the Son of God and the Savior of the world. While Jesus was on earth, he taught everyone about God's love and healed people from their sickness. He did many miracles like calming storms and even raised people from the dead.
Wahoo!
Jesus and his disciples stopped in the town, and Jesus told two of his disciples to go on ahead of them.
Okay.
He told them to go into a village and that they would see a young donkey that no one had ever ridden. He told them to untie it and bring it to him. If anyone asks, "What are you doing?" he told them to just say, "The Lord needs it, and we'll return it soon." So the disciples did what Jesus said and brought him the donkey. A long time ago, before Jesus was even born, God had said that the Savior, the King of Israel, would come to Israel in this way. And now Jesus was doing just as God had said. The news that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem swept through the city. Many heard about all the amazing things he had done, so they cut palm branches and ran to see him. The Pharisees and religious rulers realized that there was nothing they could do, for everyone was going to see Jesus. Jesus rode into the city of Jerusalem, and the crowd spread their coats on the road ahead of him. His followers began to shout and sing as they walked along, praising God for all the wonderful miracles they had seen. The Pharisees were upset, and they told Jesus to stop the people from saying things like that. But Jesus said, if they keep quiet, the stones along the road would burst into cheers. So the people kept on singing, "Blessings on the King who comes in the name of the Lord. Praise God in highest heaven." The entire city of Jerusalem was in an uproar as he entered, asking, "Who is this?" And the crowds replied, "It's Jesus." And Jesus rode the donkey through the street of Jerusalem to the temple in a triumphal entry, just as God said he would many years before. The Jewish leaders and teachers did not like what Jesus was doing or how he claimed to be the Son of God. And so they made a plan to arrest him to get rid of him once and for all.
Oh, yeah.
Judas, one of Jesus' disciples, agreed to betray Jesus
Come here.
and give him over to the religious leaders for some money. At this time, the Jewish people were celebrating a festival called Passover that had been celebrated since the time of Moses, when God brought his people out of Egypt. So Jesus was going to Jerusalem to celebrate. The disciples asked Jesus where he wanted to eat the Passover meal that night. Jesus said, "As you go into the city, a man carrying a pitcher of water will meet you.
Hello.
Follow him. At the house he enters, say to the owner,
Hi.
the teacher asks, where is the guest room where I can eat the Passover meal with my disciples? He will take you upstairs to a large room that is already set up. That is where you should prepare our meal." The disciples found everything to be just as Jesus had said. Later that evening, they sat down to eat, and Jesus said that he was happy to be with everyone. Jesus got up from the table, took off his robe, and began to wash his disciples' feet. Jesus loved his disciples, and he knew the time was coming for him to leave them and return to heaven. When Jesus came to Peter, he said,
Wait.
"Are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus said, "You don't understand what I'm doing now, but someday you will."
No.
Peter said, "You will never wash my feet." But Jesus then told him that unless he washed his feet, he would not belong to him.
Oh, well then, okay.
Then Peter said, "Then wash my hands and head as well, not just my feet." But Jesus told him that was not necessary. He just needed to wash his feet for Peter to become clean. So Jesus finished washing their feet and said that the disciples should do to others as he had done for them. He told them to follow the example that he had set for them, to serve each other and not think of themselves as greater than any other.
It's what I grew up
Then
watching
God would
growing
bless
up
them for
in the
doing as
church.
Jesus had taught
It's
them
like
to do.
it's animated,
As they were eating,
but
Jesus
they're
took
telling the
some bread
stories.
and blessed it. He said, "Take it, for this is my body, which is given for you." Jesus told them to do this to help remember him. Then he took a cup of wine and gave thanks to God for it. And he said to his disciples, "This is my blood. It is poured out as a sacrifice to forgive the sins of many." Jesus said, "One of you eating with me here will betray me." He told them that things were supposed to happen this way, but that great sadness would await the one who betrays him. The disciples were very upset and asked, "Am I the one? Who is he talking about?" Judas asked Jesus, "Am I the one?" And Jesus said, "You have said it." One of the disciples asked Jesus, "Lord, who is it?" Jesus said it was the one who he would give the bread to. He gave the bread to Judas, and Jesus said, "Hurry and do what you're going to do." None of the others at the table knew what Jesus meant, so Judas left at once to betray Jesus. Then Jesus comforted and encouraged the disciples. He promised them that they would have a helper come when Jesus was gone. They all sang a song to God together. Jesus knew the time had come for him to die, as the scriptures had said long ago. So he went with his disciples to an olive grove
Screen should not
called Gethsemane.
go dark.
And Jesus said, "Sit here while I go to pray." He took Peter, James, and John with him, and he was very distressed and troubled. He asked them to stay with him and keep watch, meaning he wanted them to stay awake with him. Got it. He went a little farther on and prayed. He cried out, Abba, Father, everything is possible for you. Please take this cup of suffering away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine. Then an angel from heaven appeared and strengthened Jesus. Then Jesus prayed even harder and was suffering greatly. He went back to his disciples, and they were all asleep.
Hello?
He said to Peter, couldn't you watch with me even 1 hour? Keep watch and pray so that you will not give in to temptation. And then Jesus left them again to pray, the same as he did before. He went back to the disciples after he had prayed and found them sleeping again. The disciples didn't know what to say. So Jesus went away a third time, praying the same things again. When he went back to his disciples, he said, go ahead and sleep. But look, the time has come. For Judas, the disciple who was betraying Jesus, was coming with men to arrest Jesus. Judas showed them who Jesus was. Jesus was arrested and taken to the rulers of the land so that they could decide what to do with him. Jesus was presented before the high council, and they asked him if he was the Messiah, the Savior of the Jews. They asked him if he was claiming to be the Son of God. You say that I am. And the council was furious, and they shouted that Jesus was guilty and he deserves to die. So they took Jesus before the Roman ruler Pilate, and he heard the case against Jesus. Pilate didn't think that Jesus had done anything wrong. Seems okay to me. They found him to be innocent, so Pilate said that he would punish Jesus and then release him. What? But the crowd kept screaming louder and louder, crucify him, we want him dead. And because of the pressure of the crowd, Pilate turned Jesus over to the Roman soldiers to be crucified. Jesus was hurt and spit on. His clothes were torn and taken from him, and a crown made out of thorns was put on his head. He was beaten so badly that he could barely stand on his own. And then he was forced to carry his cross so far up a mountain that he needed help because he could not do it on his own. Once Jesus made it to the place where he would be crucified, called the skull, the soldiers around him nailed him to the cross and waited for him to die. While Jesus was hanging on the cross, many people shouted to him, if you really are the Son of God, save yourself from the cross. But Jesus knew he had to die to forgive his people for their sins. At noon, darkness fell across the whole land. 3 hours later, Jesus took his last breath and finally died. At that very moment, the curtain in the temple that separated the priests from God's holy place tore in two. A soldier watching the whole thing said, this man truly was the Son of God. Then a righteous man named Joseph came and placed Jesus' body in a tomb. 3 days passed, and it seemed that there was no hope. But very early on Sunday morning, the woman who cared for Jesus went to go visit his body and found that his tomb was empty and that he was no longer there. Don't be afraid, said an angel. He is not here. He is risen. At this, the woman remembered that Jesus had told them that he would rise again on the third day, and ran to go tell the disciples what they had seen and heard. Jesus appeared to his disciples to show them that he was alive. That same day, Two of Jesus' followers were walking to a village called Emmaus and talking about everything that had happened with Jesus. As they were talking, Jesus suddenly came and walked with them.
Oh, hello.
But God kept them from recognizing Jesus. Jesus asked them what they were talking about. The two men were very sad. One of them, whose name was Cleopas, said, "You must be the only person in Jerusalem who hasn't heard about all the things that have happened there in the last few days." Jesus asked, "What things?" The men replied, "The things that happened to Jesus." And they began to tell Jesus about everything that had happened to him. They told him that some women had gone to his tomb and said that his body was missing, and that others had gone to see if it was true and saw that his body really was gone. Then Jesus said to them, "You foolish people, you find it so hard to believe all that the prophets wrote in the scriptures."
Let me explain.
Then Jesus took them through the writings of Moses and all the prophets, explaining from all the scriptures the things concerning himself. By this time, they were nearing Emmaus. Jesus acted as if he was continuing on.
Hey, wait.
But the men begged him to stay the night with them because it was getting late.
Come with us. Oh, okay.
So Jesus went home with them, and as they sat down to eat, Jesus blessed the bread. Then he broke the bread and gave it to them. Suddenly their eyes were open, and they recognized Jesus.
It's go.
And at that moment, he disappeared.
Where'd it go?
The men said to each other, "Didn't our hearts burn within us as he explained the scriptures to us?" And that hour, they made their way back to Jerusalem. They found the 11 and the others who were with them and told them their story. As they were telling their story, Jesus was suddenly standing among them.
Well, that's all that happened. Yep.
Everyone was frightened and thought he was a ghost.
Okay, come on, guys.
But Jesus showed that it was really him. He showed them his hands and feet, and they all watched him in awe. Then Jesus asked for something to eat.
Oh, got anything to eat?
And they gave him fish to eat.
Oh, that's good.
Jesus reminded them that everything happened as it was supposed to and helped them understand the scriptures. Then he promised to send them the Holy Spirit and told them to stay in Jerusalem until the Holy Spirit would come and fill them with the power from heaven. One of the 12 disciples, Thomas, was not with the others when Jesus came. He told Thomas, "We have seen the Lord." But Thomas said, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands, put my fingers into them, and place my hand into the wound in his side." 8 days later, the disciples were together again, and this time Thomas was with them. The doors were locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them.
Oh, hey, guys.
"Peace be with you," he said. Then Jesus said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and look at my hands. Put your hand into the wound in my side. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." Thomas said, "My Lord and my God." Then Jesus told him, "You believe because you have seen me. Blessed are those who believe without seeing." After Jesus had spent 40 days with the disciples and appeared to many people, he led the disciples to a place called Bethany. Jesus blessed the disciples and told them to go out and tell the whole world about him and the good news of forgiveness and make disciples of them. Then he said, "Be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age." Then Jesus was taken into heaven to sit at the right hand of God. Not long after that, the Holy Spirit did come to the disciples to be their helper. The disciples knew that God would truly be with them always, and the Holy Spirit is still with us today, for Jesus promised that he would be with us to the end of the age, and he is.